it comes off your tongue. Well, what if this? What if that? We take care of your friend. I mean, even if you gave him 10% or gave him a minimal amount, whatever it is, just say, throw it out there, $500, we gave him $1,000. They'd be stoked because a lot of the agents are desperate right now.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, big time. So.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Okay, so first of all, wanted to make sure that everyone's muted on the call. We are we're broadcasting live on Facebook. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to put it into the chat box in YouTube or in Facebook. At the end of the conversation, we'll, time permitting, we'll have Carlos answer a few questions and go off mic and unmute yourself. But Carlos, I wanted to officially welcome you, warmly, officially, etc., to Mastermind with Neil Schwartz. So Carlos from San Diego, welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be
cool.
here. I remember coming up to your offices there every Thursday and bring different agents up during the morning role play and then your prospecting session. So I love that you do this. I may jump on with you if you're doing this. I'll find out more about this, but that's exciting. You guys are doing this on Zoom and prospecting, which is awesome.
Well, thank you, Carlos. Actually, we went in lockdown on the 17th of March, like most of California. Yeah. Excuse me, on the 16th of March. And on the 17th of March, we launched this virtual office, and we've been open ever since. And our role play is from 8:30 to 9 in the morning. Actually, we just extended that. We actually do from 8 to 8:30, and then another session from 8:30 to 9. And then we prospect with open mic, and we'll talk more about that, but from 9 to noon time. Lots of success with this. The success has been massive with this group and this virtual selling system that we've got going here. But I digress. What we're here to talk about is you, Mr. Carlos. So you've been doing this for how long?
I started in the business. I was in the radio media business from about 1997 to 2005. Got into the business in 2005, and it's been exciting ever since.
Fantastic. Are they coming for you? Wait. Hold on, Carlos. Hold on.
Sorry about that. I had that on mute. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. I live here at the beach in Mission Beach, and we had just had 3 fire engines roll up 2 houses away from me. We see smoke coming out of it. So it's going to be kind of exciting here. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. So why don't you give us a little bit of the Reader's Digest version of your career, when you started with real estate, how you got connected with Mike, where we met. I don't know if it was one of the Superstar retreats or you came up. You spent a lot of Thursdays back in the day in our Irvine office when we were doing a lot of the blitzes there. But we've actually transferred online, so we hope that you're going to be able to join us here on a regular basis too.
Yeah, very exciting. Well, I go back into the media business back into the 90s through the 2000s. And I had left the media business. I was working for Clear Channel Communications and Sales in 2004, the end of 2004. And next thing you know, 2005, I think I'm going to transition into real estate. So I've been investing a little bit throughout the years and buying my own rental units. And my dad got me involved with that. And I loved it. So I'm going to sell real estate, and I'm going to be a multimillionaire.
Woo!
Everybody, yeah.
I love it.
I realized how hard it was. 2005, 2006, 2007. I'm doing like 8, 9 deals a year, thinking I'm a big player, coming in. Well, 2008, before the market fell out, a real estate agent, older lady, said, "You need to go to this event." Came to my office and said, "It's Mike Ferry. You need to go see him." So next thing you know, I say, okay. And I had a partner at the time, and I go, okay, we'll go. Well, I told the story to Mike via email just recently. I showed up in board shorts, flip-flops, and a T-shirt sitting in the very, very back. Go, why do we need to network and connect with other agents? Whatever. Had lunch out at Wet Republic. You remember it was at the MGM?
Sure.
All the little hot girls out there in their bikinis and stuff. And, going like, okay, yeah, we'll go out there for lunch. We'll network with all the other girls. So next thing you know, 2008, the market fell out, and Mike ended up coming to San Diego on a sales, I forgot, it was sales training. I forgot what it was, sales talk. And there was only like 90 people in the room. And I showed up in a suit then, and I connected. And it's just the power of Mike Ferry is by the power of connection. And I learned that this sales talk for the week was I sat next to a couple that were from Arizona. They referred me a $1.65 million buyer. My biggest transaction ever. And I just go, wow, I see the power of Mike Ferry. I see the power of asking questions and connecting. I joined coaching right then. Sales talk, the one-on-one retreat was in San Diego just 2 months later. And I joined the NLP. So I started NLP the next month with Matthew, and that the wheels were falling off. You know, the market took the biggest dive ever at our time. I just moved my office up to La Jolla.
Where were you before that?
I'm sorry?
Where were you before La Jolla?
I was just down in Mission Beach, PB, Pacific Beach.
Yeah.
I mean, you're rolling out of your office. You got guys in tattoos and homeless around, et cetera, et cetera. You move up to La Jolla, it's the higher price point in a much different market.
Got it. Got it.
Next thing you know, I'm just like, wow. And you really had to strip down your ego and have the breakdown and failure happen before you could break through to success. And that next year, that was in I think it was July of 2009. I just go, I'm going to make a commitment. I'm going to be up there someday on stage with Mike. I'm going to be a superstar. And I talked to my manager here at Berkshire Hathaway at the time. And I said, what do I need to do to become a superstar and sell? So,
and there you go.
Yeah.
And the rest. So is it, you're in a really high ticket area right now in La Jolla, right?
La Jolla Beach, yes.
Yeah. So are you doing the number of transactions or gross commissions? What was 2019 for you?
2019 was, it was on average around 885,000. I sold 31 33 total. My goal was 47 at the time, and to make $1 million. I was still off by about 350,000 last year.
So in 19.
In 19, yes.
Okay. So in 2020. So what was the goal when you started 2020?
2020 was 42 transactions and to make $1 million net.
Got it. Okay. And so January and February started out pretty decent.
Yeah.
Right? And then we had March.
Oh yeah.
So how did COVID affect you? Did it bother you at all, or did you use it as a springboard?
It was a springboard for both me and my wife. Yeah. My wife and I, she's a lender, and I sell real estate and I work out of the home. And our daughter, she didn't go to school also, so it was pretty tough for a while. But my wife handled it like a champ. She had her upstairs in the master bedroom. I'm down here in the living room, dining room, and we just hunkered down. And I'm pretty expressive, as you can tell.
No, I hadn't noticed.
Very philanthropic, a lot of charity events. We do a lot of events. And really what it did was got me focused more than ever in anything ever, focused with just helping people. Because I saw what was happening, I call it the plandemic. And I saw what was happening. People were losing their job. People were essential, non-essential. The big one was non-essential. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Everybody is essential. And I go, I need to help people work. I need to help people get back to work. So I started calling my database and really started, saying, hey, I'm here. If you know anybody who needs my help, people are going to be at home. They may be upgrading their home. Who do you need that needs a contractor, a plumber, electrician, a roofer, a landscaper, housekeeper? Who do you know that needs someone around the home right now more than ever? So
that's great. And that started everything for you.
It just really kicked it into high gear, and I just go, I'm going to focus. Expireds, canceled, for sale by owners. But one of the big things, Neil, and I'll share this with everybody, is I started working with my coach, Tony Smith. He basically said, it's great to do what you want to do around San Diego County. You could drive an hour almost in San Diego County and get to a seller. But he goes, quit being a mercenary. Be more of an expert in your area.
Okay.
And I know you do the 555 and things like that, when you're door knocking, right?
Right.
So he said, just pick 15. And I live at the beach. So I'm on the ocean front here. And I just go south, north, and east. And he goes, just pick 15 minutes each way. You'll feel much better when you set an appointment, you want to go.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is you were working all of San Diego, more or less, and then he asked you to get bigger, you had to get smaller?
Yes.
Really? Interesting. So
Okay.
so you had to shrink your market and then
It worked good?
Yeah.
get great. You got it, Robert? Got it. Sorry. Okay. So you shrink your market, so you're going 15, 20 minutes in 2 or 3 different directions. And so tell me what happened there.
So really, I just started focusing where I live. And I live in a unique area. I live on a peninsula here in the beach area, and I have 2,200 addresses within 2 miles. And that's long, and that's, maybe about 300 yards wide. So I focused there about 30 minutes a day on circle dialing.
Okay.
And then I started really, I called expireds, for sale by owners, canceled, but I didn't focus a lot of time on those. I focused a lot of time on my database.
Okay.
And that's a big one. And, I've got about 1,000 people total in my database, and I've just been peeling them back a little bit more of those people that, and Mike always says, God, if you're really cringing and you really don't want to talk to that person, get them out, move them on. There's more room for other people. So I really started doing that and cleaning up the database.
Okay, great. So closed and pending so far?
Closed and pending so far, 25 closed, 7 pending, 8 active, and about 3 just coming on here in the next couple weeks.
Okay, and the closed GCI right now?
Closed GCI, I'm at about 685,000. And then pending in commission is another 200,000.
So you're almost 900,000 closed and pending, and we still have, what is it, 4 more months left?
Hammer time. This is the time to hammer.
Run through the finish line, baby.
That's it.
So it looks like even with the pandemic, you're going to hit your goal of $1 million.
I'm going to break it.
Or die trying.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to break it. Trust me, you.
I love it. So when we went into COVID, let's go back there just for a minute. It was March, and you guys getting locked down. Everybody's getting locked down. We're not really sure what's happening. What's going through your head? What did it shake you for a minute or two?
It did. We started kind of going like, okay, what's happening, and really started looking at the stats. And, should you wash your food before you bring it in? Oh my God, packages. That lasted for really about 4 to 5 days. And it's really, who are you listening to? Who are you watching? What were you putting into your mind? That was
right.
The key. And I had some really smart friends that are in their politics going, we started seeing the writing on the wall and started seeing what, the media didn't really want to show you, and kind of believing what you believed. I got kicked off my wife's family WhatsApp because I was conspiracy theorists, but I think we're much smarter than what really happened. When you see what CDC just put out, and can you believe those guys? But really, who was being affected, who's not? And I believe it was a true pandemic. You'd see people riding down on their bikes down the street, falling over, dying. That's kind of my mindset. Hospitals weren't overloaded, and I've got friends that worked at hospitals I was calling. So mindset wise, I'm going, I need to get people back to work because people are losing their job. People are not making their payments. Luckily, our rental properties, we have 11, and luckily only 1 had a little issue, and we just had to work it out with them. But it's all about communication. That was one of the key things that I saw, that I need to communicate with my database and let them know that I'm here, that real estate's still moving. And the serious ones that really wanted to get out of California were the ones that were raising their hand and saying, help me.
Got it. So, Carlos, you've got a powerful mindset. Your head's in sounds like in the right place. I know I've talked to you, I've watched you prospect, and met you at different events. I mean, were you born this way? Did you read it? Did you is it what you drink? No.
Cocktails.
I want to know. I want to know what scotch you're drinking. I'm going to go order some.
Yeah. It's a great question, Mike, Neil, and I'll say it was a lot of belief, and it was a lot of Mike Ferry, a lot of you, watching all these top producers, and it really is a mindset. We could do whatever we want to do, and I've been listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad again at a high level now, and just it's all in our mind, and we can have what we want, but you got to have the right mindset. And if we have the ability to work, and really it broke it down, who's essential, who's not essential, I'm like going, wow. I mean, it just makes you feel much more appreciative to be able to make as much money as you want to in the freest and the best country in the world. And at the price point I'm at, I feel excited every day. Right. So when I saw that, though, and I'm not doing a pitch here, I'm just telling you, I got more excited because I saw the writing on the wall, and you jumped on it quick because not a lot of offices jumped on Zoom as quick as you did. But I saw that office spaces aren't going to be attended as much. They're not going to go to the office as much. And you see, I'm just driving on the freeway still now. Nevertheless, I had something pitched to me with another company, and I saw the virtuality, and I go, wow, I can get out of a cap this quick and make money. I'm just going like, okay, it changed my mindset where I got more excited every day that I can make a lot more money by just making more phone calls.
Yeah.
Huge.
Isn't that great? And that's, but let me ask you something. I mean, come on, Carlos, aren't there days when you don't feel like doing this?
All the time.
So what do you do?
I just had a big day yesterday. I just closed $7.4 million in escrow yesterday between, a double end on one and another buyer. I just, made $185,000 at 100%.
Oh, wow.
So, you would think, oh, you take tomorrow off. Hell no, let's go. What do we get to do? I just wrote an offer on another one. I just working on one more appointment and working on setting another one here with some clients I met with last week just to close them. I'm excited every single day with what we get, the opportunities we have, the opportunities, Neil, that you give your agents every day. People, you need to see the value in that because it's incredible what we get to do every day and the amount you get to make. So I told my wife today, I'm making $30,000 a week. That's my goal, $30,000 a week. So let's go. Why not?
I love it. But okay, so there's that morning though where you just don't feel like it. So what do you do? What's the routine? What do you read in the morning, or what do you listen to?
So that's a great question. I get up and I was working out pretty intensely, and then I kind of hurt my neck. It's a little stressed, probably tight. And I just go, I'm going to take a week off of working out. I'm just going to walk. So I get out and walk every day, an hour to an hour and a half now. And I'll, follow up on some texts or emails, voicing it all. And then I'll listen to some Audible books. Okay. Kevin Hart is a great one. He's got a great book. I was listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's whatever gets you motivated, really. Whatever that you need. David Goggins. I don't know if you ever heard of David Goggins. David Goggins.
He's the SEAL, right?
The SEAL, yes. Yeah. Can't hurt me. I love his MO every day. I'll get there. When I start shaving in the morning, I'll listen to his motivational stuff. And he is over the top because you got to do something that sucks every day. Every day. And it sucks getting up. Oh, I got to get out. I get to walk to the bathroom. I get to walk to get my water cut. We're so blessed when you take it down. And Neil, one of the charities I work with is Challenge Athletes Foundation, help Iraqi war vets, kids born with birth defects, people that may be injured in war or whatever it may happen, lose their sight, lose their ability to walk. The last 27 years I've been a member of that. And when you really go to the place of gratitude, that's where you got to go. The quicker you get there, things become much easier, much more pleasurable. And I get to wake up every day to my wife and my little daughter. She's still 3, and I'm blessed.
Wow.
I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. The little ones are great, aren't they?
a blessing. It's just,
Yeah,
they're,
absolutely.
your
Hey,
why grows, Neil. Your
yeah,
why grows, and that's one of the things where I feel so blessed that you know, we live in an amazing house. We live at the beach. We have this. We have our health is the main thing. We have family, but when you have your family, that's where you go like, I'm gonna kick ass at the highest nth degree. All I got to do is work 6 to 8 hours a day, maybe now, because I've pulled all the other charity. I'm not doing anything else besides focusing on my clients.
I love it. So let's talk about customer service for a minute. All right. So all the top agents I'm talking to are talking about increasing their customer service, staying focused with their clients, being on top of those kinds of things. So with customer service, what do you think your superpower is?
My superpower is pick up the phone and call them. Screw the texting, screw the emailing. You got to call them. They want to hear from you. I tell you, I've done that more lately, and I have just upped my level because, for instance, quick story. I listed the property over here on the Bay Side, you know, 2 million bucks, 2-1. And we didn't let people in for a week. We started getting all these names and numbers, and we had, you know, 9 showings on the one day that we can get in. Well, the one client that really wanted it the week before, he lives up in Marin. So I said, hey, I'm going to FaceTime you. We'll walk through it. Great. FaceTimed him. Loved it. I followed back up with him after I did the FaceTime. I said, hey, here's where we're at. This is what I'm going to do. And I just communicated with him. And he called me back. He had a question. I called him right back. It's the level of energy and enthusiasm you bring, and the quality of service through communication, friends, because text shit gets lost. You get lost. It's a quick answer, but you get to build rapport, because remember, you're building clients for life, because you're going to go back and I'm going to get that buyer who's going to buy my listing, and he's going to be my client, and he lives in my neighborhood, even though he's got, you know, lives up there, they want to move back here. How many people do they know? And if they're buying $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, whatever, they know people, and so do the people in 3, 4, 5. But it just gets more exciting when the numbers start adding more zeros. So just communicate, and you communicate. And the guy's like, and he's selling another property, but he didn't meet me before. And he's going, you are awesome. You are amazing. I'm a lawyer, a general contractor. You're like on top of it. My wife thinks you're like a Hollywood star. I mean, just because I didn't over communicate, but when you're doing a big deal or a little deal, they just want to hear from you, right, Neil?
Right. Biggest thing, communication. Absolutely. We agree, Carlos. So I'd like to ask, is there a particular objection handler, something that when you run into a situation with a client, maybe a commission, maybe a length in the contract, maybe a friend in the business, that when you get that particular objection, you handle it very well? Just something that comes up?
Commission is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get commission going, it really sounds like you want to net the most amount of money for the sale of your home, correct? I mean,
Correct.
That's it. It all comes down to commission. I hear it all the time. You know, and normally I get paid 6%. I give 2% to the buyer and 4% to the sell side. You want to know why, Neil?
Please.
Because I'm not going to let some lowballer or someone try to steal your home, because I'm here to stand like by your door like a Rottweiler and protect your equity. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
You want someone that's going to get you every single dollar you can get out of this home for the most amount of money and the least amount of time. Is that what you want?
I do.
Great. So let me ask you a question. If we get you an offer in 30 days or less, is that going to pose any problems for you?
No.
And then you just take them down the line from there, level shift them, and then move on.
Got it. Cool. Very, very good.
Because commission, friends, I mean, raise your hand. How many times do you get where you cut your commission?
Comes up quite often. So Carlos, let me ask you. So what advice would you give? We already talked about picking up the phone and doing that. But what advice would you give, let's say, to a newer agent right now? Some of the agents on here are newer. Some are getting back in the game, and some people are just trying to get to the next level. What advice would you give them? Let's say here it's September 1st. We have 4 months left. We're going to run through the finish line. What would you recommend?
I'll share this with you guys. You can get my email, but this is work from a quarterly book. Make sure you do your business plan. If you're new, I don't care where you are, you have to have a plan. Neil, you know that. And in my book, I have my, business plan. I have a blank one, and then I have a one filled out. I like to have my affirmations in there, but then you have to work from an actual schedule. So you have to work from your days, what you did, track everything. And I was never a believer, Neil. Mike always said, track your diet. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I work off like a little pamphlet. But now everything is here. So everything I do business-wise, I'm tracking. I'm scheduling. Wow. You don't forget stuff because there's so much stuff going on in this world. It gets crazy on keeping it all together in your head. You got to write it down and then write it with notes. And so really track everything you do, work from a schedule, get your business plan. I know here's a few points. You just asked a loaded question though, Neil.
No. Keep going.
And build your database. Build your database and your ABC, however you want to do it, but I do ABC, and A's are going to get a call every 90 days. They're going to get a postcard from me, and they're going to get a video from me. I use viral video. Viral is amazing because they coach you, and it's like a coaching call with Mike Ferry. You got to call every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Ron Cronin's my new coach. I know that. So I got to have my numbers up to date. And I have to know exactly what my homework was. But with the video, they keep you on track as well. So the more that you're out there, people see that. And you got to bring value. And you always ask them, whatever you need from me, real estate related friends, I'm here to help you. If I don't know the answer, I will find out and get right back to you. And follow up with them quick, because if they raise their hand, that's your door. That door is open.
Got it. Okay. So you're suggesting that they work their database. You talked about the A's or the 90 days. What do you do with the B's?
The B's go probably about 4 months because, you want to make sure you're keeping in touch with your A's, but your B's and your C's are probably about 120 days, depending on how many people you have. But if you're new, you may be calling those people more. Nevertheless, you better bring some value.
Right.
And so mine, when COVID came, my call was, Neil, it's Carlos Gutierrez. I'm calling making sure you and the family are healthy and well. Are you guys good?
We're good.
Great. Are you working now?
Yes, I am.
I'd go into those questions and make it about them. And then I would let them know that, the market's moving. And I started really tracking the statistics on a 7-day rolling through San Diego County. So you brought value going, hey, the market's been moving. Granted, we saw a little bit of a pullback in March, April, but May, June, July. And I bring those numbers to value now and let them know, hey, just yesterday we saw 936 new listings in the county. We saw, which is crazy, we saw almost 989 went pending and 836 went sold. So you're seeing that a certain amount is coming on, but more actually going to escrow, and we're seeing this number still pretty high selling. So how about yourself, Neil? Are you considering on selling now at the top of this market?
Good job. Good job. Carlos, so tell me, you open to some questions right now?
Sure. Yeah, bring them on.
All right. So let's ask. So first of all, let's give him a big hand. Really good stuff. All right. Good. Carlos Gutierrez. So tell me, who's got some questions for him? Open it up. Let's say unmute yourselves, please.
If any.
Go ahead, Josie.
Carlos, in the beginning, you said you were doing circle dialing. What's that?
So circle dialing, you're basically going to have a farm. Do you have a farm? Yeah, you work your farm basically. So you're going to circle dial around your farm and let them know, hey, I just sold another one over at 831 Salem Court. It was on the market for 10 days. And, I had 7 offers. And we took one. It wasn't the highest price, but it was, and talk a little bit about it and build that rapport. And then you ask them, hey, who else do you know that's thinking about it right now?
Got it. Good. Okay, good question. Thanks, Carlos. Other questions for Carlos? Karen,
Carlos,
go ahead.
You look like a lot of fun.
Thank you.
So how do you stay on schedule?
That's a tough one. Well, you got to work from your schedule. You just get it all written out here. And if you will email me, you can see it here. You can email me. I'll have my assistant send it to you. It's bound. It's quarterly. You got to work from the schedule. I prospect from 8 o'clock every morning till 11 o'clock religiously. So you gotta be able to prospect. Today, I had to leave just a little early because a guy needed to show the property, and it's a hot little property. It took me an hour, and then at the same time, I videoed another property for some out-of-towners, but 750 and 1.4 million. I think I'll peel off a little bit later and prospect later into the afternoon. So, but you got to get the time in. 3 hours minimum. Neil, I don't know. What do you coach? 4 or 3?
No, are you kidding? If I can get 3, I'm thrilled.
Hey, what else are you going to do for 240 minutes? You're going to prospect. You get to make, what's your price point in your markets up there where you're at? What's your average?
Average agent would close a deal in our company for about $14,000 per gross per deal, more or less. Some a little less, some a little more.
That's a lot of money. Just think if we did that every single day. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just what else do you have to do, friends, is my question, because I had a lot of other things to do. And my wife broke it down before. She goes, COVID's been good to you because you focused. You cut all the other stuff out and you just focus. And I go, well, because why are you doing it? You have to ask that question, why? And Karen, why do you work? I'm going to ask you that question. You got to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Make the money.
For what? For what?
The boys.
Good. Yeah, and your boys, you got kids, go to school, they want new clothes. But, it's teaching them at the same time the work ethic that you have, because we need to train, especially this younger generation, friends. And hey, I'm not going to get political, but I get pissed off when I see what's going on out there, because the parents have not. They need discipline. They need to be coached. They need to be trained. And hey, great book. Read it. Listen to it. Is Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he starts talking about it. We get all caught up in this and that, and we make some money, but we don't know how to invest it. We don't teach our kids at a young age how they can make money work for themselves. So that's one of the things I've made it with my only one daughter, of how do you make money work for you?
That's very cool. Good advice. Thank you. Okay, who else has got a question for Carlos? Nancy, did you have your hand up? Nancy D? No? Okay. Anyone else? No?
So actually a question came into the chat box was, what sources are you prospecting mainly for your business?
What sources? Canceleds, expireds, for sale by owners, and database.
What are you using social media wise, Carlos?
I use Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Do you have a CRM?
I'm just using Google, and I've got a full-time assistant, and she updates our contacts. And then I've got a marketing coordinator that helps me with our posting for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that stuff. And I had her start updating. We're trying to post 2 to 3 times a day now of active pending solds. And then I'll fill it in with going out to listings and little personal in there as well.
Okay, good. All right, other questions? Anyone else? Robert, anything else from the chat?
Number of expired, canceled, and also number of for sale by owner. Do you have tons of these leads or limited?
I've honed down. You could do it in your MLS, or you could hone it down to the zip codes that you only want to call. And using Mojo, you can dial that in where I'm not calling all over the county. So honestly, expireds, canceled, for sale by owners, I can have that done in about maybe 20 minutes, depending on the conversations that I have. However, when I really started looking at it and I listened to Mike more and more and more, we should be getting 10% business from our database. So if I've got 1,000 people, I should be doing 100 transactions. And I'm working, my goal is to get up to that number before we end, or very close to that number before we end the year, so I can then really push through to next year and really hone in on my database. So I use Viral. Every 2 weeks we send out a video. I track them on social as well. You can look them up, capture their information to make sure they're getting our videos. and make sure that they see that, and along with a phone call and a postcard, every 2 to 3 months are getting a COI postcard. And I've incorporated my daughter in on that as well, because she is the cutest thing ever and the best highlighted personality that people love it. And that's kind of what I'm building, is trying to go more after my database, Neil.
I love it. Well, look, it's the name of the game. And you know, that's been our big push since March. It's actually, we talked about it in our management team meeting this morning, that we're going to even push harder toward the end of the year. That's where the business, you know, 60%, 65% of all the transactions closed in the company this year have been past client sphere. If it wasn't for past client sphere, there would be no business.
Yep.
So we all have to think about that. And I think that there's a way to push it. You're pushing it. We're all pushing it and moving toward that corner. Absolutely. Okay. Do we have any other questions before I wrap it up with Carlos? No, nothing else. All right. So unmute yourselves, please. Let's give him a giant hand. Great, great talk. Amazing energy, Carlos. Thank you so much. Really, really good. Really, really good. So one of the things, Carlos, that we do right now at the end of these meetings is I ask the team what did they learn. So you're welcome to stick with us and kind of listen to that, or if you have to go, we totally get it.
Yeah, I've got about 10 minutes, so.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so what did we learn from Carlos today? Who wants to go first? What did we learn from Carlos?
But they really want to hear from you, the clients, and he's a bulldog to protect their equity.
Absolutely, and he lets them know that. Absolutely. Let's see, Josie, please go ahead.
Be more of an expert in your area. He goes 15 minutes each way, and then you'll feel better about taking that appointment. And he said it again right now at the end, something about, he narrowed down expires, cancels, and all for sale by owners to just certain zip codes.
Right.
That's great.
I think that that was one of the big takeaways today that I heard, was to get bigger, you have to get smaller. But we've never heard that in this mastermind group before.
Just today, that's your favorite point? Just today? Just today?
Good job. Okay, who had their hand up? Abigail, did you have Robert? Or Abigail, go ahead. And then Robert. Abigail, unmute yourself.
No, just biggest takeaway is just, is stick to the schedule, and then he's prospecting from 8 to 11.
Yeah, that was a great thought. Good. Robert, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Carlos, really appreciate you taking the time. Know you're a busy guy, so really appreciate that a lot. The two things that I took away is he said there's too many things going on in our life, in our head, that if you don't write it down, it's not going to get done. And we talk about that all the time. Neil, you taught me this years ago, and I try to preach this, is that if it's not in my schedule, it's not going to happen.
That's right.
There's just no way. If it's not in my schedule, it's not going to happen. So I think that, and the second thing is he's got so much energy and excitement, but is still super controlled. Like, it's energy and enthusiasm, but I still know what to say and how to say it without being over the top or anything like that. It's just really expert sales techniques that he has. You could tell he's a true pro.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I'm going to also add in, guys, real quick, and when you do have a book, if you want, I'll send this to you, but I'll tell you, it's a powerful thing to have it where you could just open it up and go back a week back and scratch out all the things that you did and make sure you bring them forward to now, because they were in your book for a reason. I miss leads. I'm sure a lot of people miss leads if you write them down and you forget about them and you don't bring them to the next day. So what I try to do from last night, I was here, we had a friend, we're drinking some wine here before having dinner, and I started writing down all the things from the day that I didn't get done into tomorrow. Because you got to be successful, you got to plan out the night before the next day. So when you start prospecting, go to work, you just hit the ground running.
Love it. It's a great thought. Good job. All right. Anyone else have a question for Carlos before we let him go?
And I did put Carlos's information in the chat box. So if you have referrals, 15 minutes either way of La Jolla, because we don't want to mess up his get bigger by getting smaller. So
If it's a listing, I will travel anywhere for a listing. Just so you know, I've got listings further than that. But yeah,
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Got it.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Great.
All right, everybody, unmute yourselves, please. Unmute yourselves. Let's give Carlos a big hand. All right.
Thank you,
Good
thank you.
job. Good job. Carlos, again, thank you
Awesome.
so very much. Great stuff. Really
Appreciate it,
cool.
Neil. And I love you, brother. Thank you.
You be well, buddy. You take care of yourself. Okay.
Bye-bye.